Hello everyone, Lori with Hardworking Mom here. I just wanted to show y'all something a little different tonight. So I actually have one of the Dollar Tree heart forms, and I have some tulips. Now I got these tulips from my wholesaler. However, you can get really nice tulips at Michael's, and if you watch for them to go on sale, you can actually get them $2 or $1 a bunch. And all you're going to need is the frame, some ribbon, and then your tulips. So we're going to start off by putting our ribbon, attaching it right to our frame. I like to go down here at the edge point so I can keep it where I want it. And I'm starting with 4 yards of ribbon that I've cut off, just because it's easier with a frame like this to work in smaller amounts. So you will have to pull your ribbon through the center. Okay. You want to start off at the corner. You're just going to pull your ribbon through. Try to keep your edges a little bit straight as you go. Just like this. So it is easier to work with smaller amounts of ribbon. It's easier to control it, keep it where you want it. Okay. Just like this. You're just going to keep wrapping it around. Okay. The trick is to keep it pretty snug when you're going around some of these edges. Okay. And that second ribbon, when it comes around, it's going to cover some of this that you get on the edges. Okay. So I worked in about 4 yards. So my goal is to get at least to the center. Okay, so we've gotten to the center. You just kind of take your time and get your ribbon around it so that your edges look good. Okay. So 4 yards got us 80% of the way around. So what I will do is I will zip tie this here. I will cut an extra yard, maybe 1.5 yards. Okay. And I will go ahead and tie this one on at the same time. And then what I'll do is I will go ahead and go back over this spot where we cut off that ribbon. And then keep going. So you'll be able to easily hide where you stopped and started. Okay. So when you get to the edge, you want to make sure that you get that edge wrapped tightly, or it will want to pull across. Okay. So go right across that edge. Okay, and in the back, I will take another zip tie. I will find this little cross piece down here where the wire is. Okay, I'm going to get my zip tie around that. This part can be a little tricky, but just take your time. Okay. There we go. And then I will pull this ribbon taut so that I can keep it around this edge. Okay, just like that. Okay, and I'm going to zip tie it in place. And then you can take a little bit of excess ribbon and you can glue it right over the spot where you tied. So about, what, maybe about 3 inches, about 3 or 4 inches. Okay. All right. And I'll just glue this piece on to get this nice and clean and to protect someone's door. So now I'm going to come back around and see if there's any areas that I need to work on a little bit. Okay. But overall, it looks super cute. Now some of the other things you can do with this, you can get tulips. So you can get tulips at Michael's. And you can actually take the tulips and you can slip them right inside the ribbon. You would want an inch or two. You just slide it in, just like that. I want a little bit out. I'm going to pull some of this out. You see how cute that is? You can put as much or as little in it as you want. Okay. So these are almost like pockets. Just kind of gives you an idea of what you can do. You just kind of lift it up, place it down in that pocket, like that, just like that. You see how cute that is? You can put a bow on this side. You can put the tulips all the way around. Another great thing to do is to take your tulips and put them in a bunch and arrange them so that you have some taller, some smaller. Make a little bouquet out of it, and you can place it right down here towards the bottom. So what I would do is take these. Let's get one with longer. So I'll take a couple longer stems. Okay. Okay. So when you're doing like a little bouquet, you want the stems to kind of be staggered. Okay. This. Okay. Maybe one more pink down in the front. Just like that. So now we'll zip tie this bunch together. You could also use some floral tape. Okay. Right, and then you can place this inside the pocket. Right at the end. And then you have a nice little bunch. Now if you have trouble with it, the best thing to do is to go around the back and kind of pull these back and zip tie it down to the frame from the back. And then you can still take that piece that we cut and place that right over it. So you're not going to be able to see it. Just like that. Go through another way that we can use these Dollar Tree hearts. And this is going to be with the really large yarn that you can get from Hobby Lobby. So these are 28 yards. It's going to be very similar to what we do when we're doing the ribbon, except with this one, you can actually use the yarn itself to tie it on. So I just tie a little knot here, and then very similar to the ribbon, we're going to take this and we're going to pull it through. So this is going to take a little time. But the result is absolutely adorable. So you can also do the same thing I did earlier, in that you can use a large amount of it and trim it off. I find it much easier to work if I have smaller pieces to work with. Okay. All right. So I could just take this whole bunch and pull it through. You do want to keep it pretty tight. The edge, the little corner is going to be the most difficult piece, so you're going to have to kind of go over it several times, and then you will be able to start making progress going down the frame. Okay, you just stack them next to each other. You can do this with pretty much any frame that the Dollar Tree has. Okay, I do like to kind of push mine back a little bit because I do want it to be nice and tight. I'll just kind of push it a little bit as I get closer to the edge. I want it to be nice and uniform. Now this comes in all different colors. Okay, so once you've gotten back down to the bottom, I do kind of overlap just a little bit down here at the bottom, and then I will go right across where the point is, and I will tuck it underneath right here. And that's all you have to do to tie it off. So you can see how well it keeps its shape. It's nice and soft. It's really cute. It's going to be great on a door. So we have two ways so far. See, now this way is going to be much thicker than this one, but they're going to look super cute together. So you can stack these together We're going to look at one more way to do a Dollar Tree heart. So I have another Dollar Tree heart, and I have some Dollar Tree mesh. I have some pipe cleaners, and I have this mesh here. Okay, so this mesh is actually a deco mesh, but it feels a lot like tulle. So it's very stiff. It's called snow mesh because it has these little white spots on it. And what I love about this is you can cut it as many times as you want, as small as you want, and it's not going to fray. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut some of this, and this is a 21-inch roll, so I'm actually going to cut it in 10 inches, and then we're going to further cut it from there. So we'll be able to get quite a lot out of one roll. Okay. Alright, so then I'll just take these and I will stack them on top of each other, just like this. And then I'm going to cut lengthwise. I'm going to cut about every 6 inches. Okay, so we'll get 3 out of one line. So now we have 3 times as much. So what we'll do is we'll take our Dollar Tree mesh and I will load them onto, I'm going to load several at a time onto my cutter. Started, it will work a lot better. That first little bit, getting it pulled out, is a little challenging because you're working with several different pieces. But once you get it pulled out, you will be able to cut this into a clean edge. You'll be able to cut several at one time. Okay. All right. So what I do is I put something heavy on them. And I'm going to cut every 10 inches. Okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so once you have all of your mesh cut up, then we're going to start putting it on our frame. Now let me tell you a little bit about Dollar Tree mesh. So Dollar Tree mesh is not going to be as hardy as some of the other meshes that you can buy. So you want to be very careful the methods that you use with Dollar Tree mesh, because you're going to get a lot better result if you keep in mind that the less you touch the mesh, the less it's going to fray. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pipe cleaners, which you can also get these from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to take some of this snow mesh that we bought. I'm going to take some of this snow mesh that I showed you. I'm going to go right down the center with a small ruffle with this, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it as a curl right on top of this mesh. I'm only going to need about 1/4 of my pipe cleaner. So all I'm going to do is take it, tie this pipe cleaner on here, and then I'm going to tie this onto my frame. So the trick to this is to pile them up together and get them to start working together. Okay, so you can put one in each one, or you can put multiple. So let me show you. If you want to put multiple, you're going to be better off doing a half pipe cleaner. Okay, so if you're going to put multiple in, I would still take one of these, and I would take 2 curls, and I would stack them right on top of each other. So this already wants to curl because it's used to being in that container. So I would just take a couple. Okay. Place the pipe cleaner around it. Now I am putting them in the middle of the frame, and I'm just tying them in the back. Okay, and then I can just tuck that little tie right up. So I think what we'll do is we'll do 2 in each. Okay. So we'll just take our pipe cleaners and we're just going to trim them in half. Okay. And so for every 2 curls, I'm going to use 1 of the snow mesh. And I'm just going to go straight up the center with the snow mesh. It could just be any kind of messy little ruffle you want. And then I'll take 2 of these, roll it up, put it on top, take a second one, just roll it up, place it on top, and then take 1 of my half pipe cleaners and put it right on there. So I did want this to stand up higher than my mesh because this is going to help cover some of it, and it's going to give it a nice little cute look. So we'll have all those little white sparkles on here. Okay, so we're going to put it on and push it over. So that's what you do. You put it on, you push it over, and then it's going to help to fill up the whole frame. So let's do it one more time. So we take 1 curl, a second curl, okay, and 1 of our little ruffled pieces. Put them together. Take a half pipe cleaner. So tie it right around the back, just like this. So you have it tied on the back. Then you're going to go to your frame, and you're going to tie it right on the middle piece. So you see right here, just like that. And that's how we're going to tie it. So I'm going to get these curls ready, and then I'll come back and we'll tie a few more, and then we'll look at all 3 of these hearts next to each other. Okay, so I have a pile done, and we can start loading them on. So we're just going to keep doing the same thing by going right in the center, tying it on, and then going on to the next one. So I will skip this middle section, and I will come down to this section. I will come back and get the middle section. You really want to be careful to make sure that you don't load too many in the midsection so that we can keep our shape. So I really only have 1, 2 in this bottom section here, and that's all I'm going to put down there so we can keep our shape. So it's very important that you load it so that you'll be able to keep your shape. So the trick to that is to not put many where you have your curves. so that you can keep track of those curves. Both sides put on. Okay, so on the bottom, I want to make sure I have kind of a point. So I will put one extra one down here at the very bottom point. I just want one because I want to make sure that I emphasize that there is a point there. So you can see how that starts to create that little point down at the bottom. All right, so now at the top, what I will do is I will take my mesh and I will actually put it more towards the inside. Okay, so one there. All right, and one here, and that should be it. And that should give us our heart. Okay, so now I'll just go through and kind of make sure that I have all of my cute little snow mesh pulled up so that we get that cute little bit all around. But you can see it still looks like a heart. You can see it from the back. Did you see? Well, it looks like we might need one more piece right here. Okay. And then I think that will be all. Alright, there we go. So it actually covers the entire heart. So you want to make sure that you keep this one at the bottom to make sure you get your point. Then you can just kind of play around with your little snow mesh to make it look the way you want it to. And see, isn't that cute? See how cute that is? You see, we can still see it's a heart. Okay, and we used 3 in this section. I'm sorry, we used 2 in this section. We used 5 in these sections, and we used 2 down here. So now if you look at it, all right, so we have our red heart, we have our white heart, and we have our pink heart. So these two could actually be tied together. You could also take one and put it on top of this to even give it more emphasis that it is a heart. You could even stack all 3 together, kind of in this manner, like this. Okay, and the last thing we'll do is just a little bow to add on to any one of these you wanted to make. And I want to show you how to do a double bow very easily by hand. You can take 2 ribbons, stack them on top of each other, and you just take it and you're going to put it in your hand in between your thumb and your finger. Let's zoom in a little. So we're going to do about a 12-inch tail. So I'll just pinch that, put it together in my hand. I'm going to do a 6-inch loop. So I'm just going to go from the 0 to the 12 on my mat. That's 12 inches. I'm just going to put it right in my hand. Okay, on the other side, I'm going to go from 0 to 12. I'm going to pull it across on this time. So this ribbon has some writing on it, so I want to make sure I keep my writing so that you can see it. With that in mind, I'm not going to do any twisting. So now on this next one, I just need to match what I did before. just like that. Okay. Then we can trim this off. And just that quickly we have a bow. So we'll take one of our pipe cleaners. We're going to twist it around. So when I'm using a pipe cleaner, I will hold the pipe cleaner and I will twist the bow. So you want to be careful you don't twist too much because the pipe cleaners will pull off. Now all you're going to do is pull and separate your ribbons. You do want to pull them on opposite ends. So if you pull your red up, you're going to pull your pink up. The next time, you're going to pull your pink and then your red. And then you have a nice little bow. You've got your tails that you can curl up in any manner you want. And so we can look at this on any one of our wreaths. So we have this one, this one. You could also put it up at the top. It's very cute up at the top. And this one. Another thing I will say is you can load these two on a little bit opposite each other, and then you can place the bow right where you tie the two hearts together. Okay, just like this. Then you just want to pull your bow up. Okay, we can do some little curls with our tails, just like this. And you have them tied together with your bow. So that's all you had to do to attach them. And it is quite easy to add a hanger right on the back of these, and then you have a nice little door hanger. So I hope you enjoyed these projects, and then it gives you an idea of something that you can make. But you can see there are a lot of ways that you can use the Dollar Tree frames in order to do something super cute. And so on the back of this, I'm just going to trim these off. And on the back of this, I'm just going to add a hanger from here to here. And then that's it. Y'all have a great night. Thank you for watching me. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you will know when I'm going to be live next. Thank y'all.